We will respond with resolve. They must be talking about the carpet cleaner administration that has any resolve in it whatsoever. Isn't it funny that under President Trump we didn't have these incidences? Hmm. Isn't it funny that a couple of days ago they talked tough and threatened Iran, and now they're saying, well, the proverbial asses kicked all over the place. So let's just know that when we're watching these stories, what their goal is. That's my assessment. Welcome and thank you for being here on SBG News and Views. Please do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Our subscriptions drop, and it's not because you don't like us, it's because they get knocked off. So double check your subscription to make sure you're still on there. Let me bring in my wonderful co-host, Robert Imbraeli.
Do you really want to bring me onto this show today at a time like this, Lewis?
Wow.
I don't know.
Talking a time like this,
I
it
don't know.
was
Hey, I had a fun day,
what?
a fun morning this morning. We were treated to some free sky art by the Cabal.
Oh, some sky
Yeah, look at
fireworks.
this beautiful sky art from the Cabal. Look at they were doing the checkerboard up there and everything's beautiful. And it was free.
Wow.
Didn't even have to pay admission for it. It was great.
And so that's at Robert's property
Yep.
too. Maybe they did it specifically for you.
I don't know. I think they were trying to give us a little show there. Oh
Yeah.
boy, what a day.
Oh, but they're just spraying hydroxychloroquine. That's all it is. I mean, come on. They're healing everybody
They're
with this
healing
stuff.
everybody. Yes, yeah. They don't make money by healing people. Big pharma, the doctors, they don't want you to get well. They want you to stay sick because that's continued profit. It's their version of a subscription model. Think about it.
Right. Well,
Yeah,
I mock the HCQ spraying thing because I want people to start thinking and not forwarding it all the crap that they get. Let's just use common sense. I broke it down. It will take 1 to 10 million times what you can ingest for a pill if they spray it in the atmosphere and it happens to land on you. Does that make sense that they're really trying to save the world by
yep.
spraying hydroxychloroquine? I think they can find a more efficient way to do that.
I think
So
so.
this is where we have to use common sense, guys. Yes, we are conspiracy theorists. I have my tinfoil hat. We're going to talk about it today. We are conspiracy facties, I think we are, because everything seems to be coming true. But let's not step over too far into that realm because it just makes you look like a fool when it gets exposed as nonsense.
Bingo. Bingo.
So,
And one thing that's interesting, I think 107 had mentioned this, that when they're spraying at that level, at that height over California, it doesn't come to the ground a few states over before it actually hits the ground. So
that's right.
it ain't
That's
for
exactly
here.
right.
Yeah,
Right,
no
right, right,
question.
right. Because they have jet streams and everything else.
Yep.
So they're aiming it somewhere. Just because you see it doesn't mean they're aiming it at you because
Right.
those aren't low level sprains. Many times they're aiming it somewhere, uh, whatever the wind blows.
I wonder, Lewis, if it's over, because most commercial jets fly 30, 35,000 feet. I think 38,000 feet is kind of their ceiling. I wonder if they're doing it at 40,000 or higher, so not to interfere with commercial airline traffic. Don't know. I know so little
I have
about
no
this
idea.
subject because
I have
there's
no
no
idea.
information.
Well, the good news is it's real now. You've
Yep.
had two states recognize it as being something real. So there you go, guys. You conspiracy theorists on your chemtrails, you're a conspiracy factie now.
That's it.
Congra-
Yep. It's been proven true.
Congratulations, and more of it's coming out. So it's very exciting times for us, but it's also very frustrating when I see us spread misinformation because it you have to recover from that. So we have to be careful. Um, Folks, if you could remember, please go to screwbiggov.com. Why? Because you can gain access to all that we offer. One website, find all my social media links that I'm shadow banned on, find all the documentaries, Freedom in Action, Remember Your Oath, our amazing swag, whatever you need. It's at screwbiggov.com. Thank you to Lisa Richards. Did a phenomenal, phenomenal, phenomenal job. Now, what's really cool is a lot of things that we talk about, you may want to just be able to grab real quickly. Well, Robert takes the extra time and he's created his own channel. It's Renegade Media Channel on Telegram. So he takes pieces and some videos and everything that you need there to easily forward it all over the place. So thank you, Robert, for that, guys. The link for everything is below, by the way.
And we post stuff there that doesn't make it on the show either. So there's always more than can fit into the time we allot for the show. And Lewis and I had said, oh, we're going to stay under 60 minutes, and that's never happened. There's so
Never.
much to do.
We have math issues. We can't count very well.
We try. We go through our outline and we try to figure out how long it's going to take. But the truth of the matter is we might do that at 11 a.m. and by 3 o'clock Pacific that we're in, when we go live, it's like so much has changed and there's added context to things, and it's like we could just keep going. So we just bring you sort of the best of the best as we see it at that moment, and so the shows go a little long, but that's okay. You guys are loving it.
Yep, yep.
Yep.
So I'm going to take the show in a little different direction today. I think people really love it. I'm going to screen share live President Trump's True Social because there's some interesting things on there for sure. If there is a 2024 election with the big IF, if there's a 2024 election, we need to come out in force just to overwhelm them. So it'll be so obvious when they're trying to catch up and fill in the ballots and so on and so forth. So, well, I don't believe there's going to be a 2024 election. And I know I had a lot of people on board with me a year ago saying that. And the closer we get to election, they're bailing. So they don't have the courage to stick with your conviction. But anyways, I still don't think there will be a 2024 election. We'll see, right? But you have to prepare as if there will be one. Well,
let's do something to hurt Trump.
I could smell the sweat coming off of her attorney's armpits when she was saying that. And that's what she's like, it's a joke. Please, just so you know, it's a joke. She's not serious. She's a wackadoodle.
And you notice how Rachel Maddow said that the money you're about to get.
Yes. Yes.
She hasn't received it yet, and she's not going to receive it. It's on appeal. So on appeal, you don't get, well, they tried to force Giuliani to pay out before he went to appeal, and he protected himself. He just went and claimed bankruptcy. So he stopped all of that, but they were trying to get him to pay the money, the 148 million, before his appeal time came up. And, maybe they'll try that with Trump too. I don't know, but he's not going to declare bankruptcy.
Yeah, and very interesting too. Yeah. And then I think it was Denise here said that she named one of her cats Vagina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she did. Yeah.
Isn't that just wonderful? She's such a class act.
She is the classic example of what you and I would call a tool, right? They're using her. And she's not bright enough or smart enough or there enough to realize what's really going on. And they're just playing her and telling her what to say and telling her everything. She was literally involved in them changing the law to remove the statute of limitations. And they only removed it for 1 year. And she filed the lawsuit the next day after that was changed. Didn't wait. The next day the lawsuit was filed. So it was all planned.
No collusion whatsoever.
Yeah,
no collusion whatsoever.
No. So she's a tool, and they're using her. And now you're seeing there's corruption with the judge, and there's corruption with the attorneys, and there's it's just like the golden boomerang is really what this is. And I think it was Laura Ingraham, or was it Laura Ingraham? No, it was Megyn Kelly who said that Hygiene Carroll here just handed Trump the victory in the election. Well, we don't know because the elections are hard to know. You know what I mean? So.
Wow. A bunch of wows. All I could visualize is Megyn Kelly bleeding while you were talking because of what President Trump said and the speculations of her being Nicole Brown Simpson. I just couldn't get the visions out of my head. Oy, oy, oy. We are in a wackadoodle world, brother.
Yeah.
We're in a wacky world.
We do.
So you know what, though? I'm in good spirits because our good friend Karen Carson sent me an update on something that happened in Los Angeles County, believe it or not. Let's play this. Now, as a side note, when Robert Luna, the sheriff, was elected to LA County, there was an outcry from conservatives and other people that this is another deep state actor. But interesting enough, if you look at his record and what he's done, he's exactly the opposite. And what's interesting is I got a call days after he was elected, and I was told he's not a deep state actor. Watch what he does. And I blew it off as just inside patriot propaganda. And sure enough, he's been doing good things. So, I mean, he announced Tuesday the arrest of hundreds of people that caught security investigation. Pretty interesting story, isn't it, Robert?
It really is. I'm just working behind the scenes here to get our next guest set up, but this is one thing that you brought up right at the beginning. I want to go back to that because it's kind of really important here. I'm going to bring myself on camera here. I will leave that alone. One thing you brought up is I think it's really key for us to remember that 107 had said this almost 2 years ago now, I guess, and he had said that we're going to be surprised by people who we think are the bad guys or working for the dark side are actually working on our side. And I think what happens is with this misinformation, disinformation campaigns that are out there, we don't always know. And you're seeing right now a lot of AI stuff popping up. It's just crazy. Having a conversation with another business owner yesterday about it, and he was shocked at how easy it is for people to knock off information that's not real. So couple that with people who the information's come out. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy because what they try to do is discredit the good guys, right? They go into their background. They say, oh, he once kicked a dog and he's really bad. Okay, we've all had stuff that we've done maybe we're not proud of in our lifetime. It's called being human, right? And we got to be careful of beating up those who are now stepping up and doing the right thing. Mm-hmm. And I see this again and again in our community, on our side, beating up our own people. And it's so sickening. It's like, please, there's somebody stepping up, somebody saying the right thing. Whatever they did in the past, maybe they have reformed. Maybe they haven't. Yeah. But I'm looking at what they're doing right now. This is good. Let's support them. Let's continue to move forward.
And it's what are your fruits now? Right. let's look at that. And whatever they are, hopefully they'll pay a penance for that, so on and so forth. Real quick. Just one American girl in chat made a good point. She says, if you're a John to someone being trafficked against their will, then you're a rapist. Totally agree. Mm-hmm. The challenge is there's no laws on the book that treat it as such. So generally it's just treated as a misdemeanor paid for service. But if they know that these people are being trafficked or suspicious, I think you're right. It'd be nice to see them actually prosecuted as a rapist. Yep. That sure would slow that down, wouldn't it? So Good point there. We're going to bring our guest on in a second, but you know what? Have you seen these wonderful recruiting posters that have been going around?
I haven't seen them, but they were popping up on our feeds this morning. It's kind of interesting. Casting call, calling for speaker roles in feature film. Lovely propaganda. So we're aware of it. This is the tough stuff we're going to see with the border convoy, which brings us to our next guest. We have the man, the myth, the bald legend. The bald Bruce legend. Poppy, I love the bald legend.
The bald legend, Bruce Poppy, is here with us. He's actually driving right now. He's in the convoy, the border convoy. And what say you, Bruce?
Well, can you hear me, Louis? Can you hear me?
We can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear. Yes, I am embedded with the convoy, Louis. Bruce Poppy here reporting for FPG News and Views. But it's kind of hard to hear because there's so much patriotism around here. It's kind of hard to hear you, Louis. With all of these flag-waving, American-loving people, it's kind of difficult to... I have to tell you, it's been amazing so far. Just to give a brief backstory, I joined up the convoy in Jacksonville, Florida, the day before yesterday, Monday night. We drove from Jacksonville to Baton Rouge yesterday. My initial, when the convoy came from Virginia, I was there when they arrived, and I was a little bit, I wouldn't say disappointed, but I was kind of shocked that there was only like 12 vehicles that came in, that night. But every time we stopped, every mile along this thing, we've been picking up more and more people. As it stands currently, We probably have, I haven't heard an exact number if somebody's taking account of the actual vehicles, but just a guesstimation somewhere in the neighborhood of 75-ish, between 75 and 100 vehicles. We're, adding new people all the time. It's mostly cars and vans. There's maybe 2 tractor trailer trucks. There's 2, I think 3 big wrapped motor coach style buses that are in the front. I'm in my little mini Winnebago, but most of the other things are just cars and trucks. People joining us, going on. So we're heading to Dripping Springs right now. We're just coming through the MAGA, like the heart of the MAGA nation, that really red city of Houston, Texas. That's where we are right now. So it's kind of a parking lot out here on I-10, rush hour in Houston, Texas. But we're planning to be in Dripping Springs, Texas tonight at some point. We got one more empty the bladder and fill up the gas tank stop before we get there. So that's the report here from on the road. It's all been love. It's been a love fest, really, quite honestly. All of the fear, you had talked about earlier. I was listening in when you guys were talking about other stuff, how you're, exposing some of the about the hydroxychloroquine, all these people spreading all this fake stuff. Well, after the convoy, people standing up forward and taking peaceful assembly, redressing our. There's many people out there, pretty influential type people with large platforms that were saying, "Don't go! It's another January 6th. It's a trap. There's going to be feds all over the place." We've had nothing but love and respect for and from any sheriff or law enforcement that we've seen. There's always been, there's always going to be 1 or 2 stupid people. You got people driving by giving us the one, single finger salute, things like that. But other than that, it's been a beautiful thing.
It's interesting is over X, they're making up stories now because they can't find any real issues with the convoy. So all over X, you have these channels that are pretending to be supporters of the convoy, and then you read their information, and they're saying, "Oh, they're crazies. They're driving all over the road. They're forcing people off the road. They're doing this. They're doing this. They're leaving trash all over the place." None of it's true. They have no evidence of it whatsoever, but they can't find anything real. So now they just have to make it up. And that's what the Marxists have been doing for 40 years. So it's really interesting. What does that tell you? That tells you this is an epic event because they're all over X trying to denounce it. Now, the interesting thing is most of the traffic we hear is going to pick up in Texas. So we'll probably, and it's still 3 days away from the final event, and we hear there's multiple convoys. You're just in one of them, heading to these spots. So it sounds like there's already thousands of people on the road, which are really, really cool. I can't wait to see how this builds. But very, very exciting, Bruce. Thank you for being there.
It is
being a correspondent
no
to
problem.
us. What else is up?
No, I was just going to confirm that we, reports we've heard from all the people down the road, that there are other convoys. This isn't the only convoy. So I mean, the 100+ cars or around 100 cars we got here, this isn't the entire thing. And I believe many people, because most people still have to work for a living, so take off the time during the week, to drive wherever. So I think that the events that are going to happen on February 3rd. About 30 or 40 miles north of Eagle Pass in Yuma, Arizona, and then San Ysidro, California on February 3rd. Those events are going to be massive. Everybody's coming in for those. So there might be a little lesser numbers on the road in this convoy that I'm particularly in. But yeah, the expectation is huge.
Nope. I think it's amazing. 100+ vehicles in a 2 mile. That's a 2 mile convoy too, if I'm correct. Is that right?
Yeah, we've because we got comms. So we got a lead car and we got a tail. And so the lead car will say, "Hey, we're at when we're all together in a line, we're at mile marker X," and then the guy in the back says, "Well, I'm at mile marker X," and it's running around 2 to 2.5 miles depending on the distance in between cars. So yeah, I mean that's a long haul of people. I mean,
That's beautiful.
fun stuff, flags, and we're not driving all. We leave these places cleaner than when we got there. And the businesses that were patronizing are loving it. They're a little bit stressed out when we got 100 vehicles rolling in there at one time. But they love it. Love the business. And yeah, there's some people out there. There's one guy. I'll go ahead and name his channel. I mean, I shouldn't even name his channel. He's a YouTube guy, and his Bonehead is in part of his channel on YouTube, and he's out there, trying to make bad videos, and he actually causing problems in the Convoy, going up, cutting in, brake checking. It's these stupid people that are doing that type of stuff, and we're aware of the game, right? Because we've been down this road before. There's been other convoys, other events, and different things. We know the playbook. And I've said before, and I think you've mentioned it, like David Copperfield is making an airplane disappear right in front of your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know how the trick works, you're amazed. But once you know how the trick works, that trick doesn't have that same power over you. So we know the playbook. We know what to look for. We're prepared on every level. So the biggest thing, if people want to get into conversation with us, just love them. Just say, God bless you. God bless you.
That's right.
I love honest feelings. You always said, bless your heart. Bless your heart. We're just, out here having a good time, picking up people as we go. And I thank for the opportunity to be able to share information as I am embedded with the People's Convoy. It's hard to hear because there's
Bruce.
around here.
That's a
Down there, Bruce. I don't know.
I know. Ba, 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 ba. So it's interesting enough too. I saw some videos where they're actually trying to manufacture issues at times. Meaning you see these cars pull up, they're already videotaping, nothing happens, and then they jerk their car to the left. Look, he tried to run me off the road. They're playing these types of games because they don't have any real bad stuff going on. So they have to manufacture it. What a bunch of piece of shit liars. It's crazy. But you're doing a great job, Bruce. I hear it's building and building every hour. So I cannot wait to I'll be in Yuma. Y'all, anybody wants to come to Yuma, we'll be there. I'll be handing out free t-shirts. Stop by and say hi. Unless I'm on camera speaking.
There'll be a number of Truth Tour, alumni going there as well. I'm hearing a lot of rumbling about a lot of people heading to Yuma. So you'll meet a lot of friends, people familiar faces.
Nice. Very, very cool. Hey, Bruce, appreciate you. Appreciate Natalie being your navigator and that strong support that she always is. Go get them, Tiger.
Thank you, Bruce. Look forward to your updates on X. Over and out, sir.
Bruce Poppy out.
Gotta love Mr. Poppy. He does a great job.
I hear there's a lot of love and prayer at these things too, at every stop too. I think that's just amazing.
It's what's needed right now is we need to come together. Coming together is where our power is. It's not in beating up on each other. And this whole, I was having a conversation yesterday, the Democrat-Republican nonsense. All it is to keep us divided. So we fight amongst each other rather than being together. And it's kind of funny because you think about people who are on the other side, right? And you ask them, what do you really want this country to look like? And when you start getting in that conversation, they want the same things we want, right? They may choose a different path to get there, but ultimately we all want the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I woke up in the middle of the night like I do with an inspiration and an idea. And my idea is I need to write a We Are the World type song called Let's Get Together.
Nice.
That's what happened. That's what happened tonight. So if anybody, if the songwriter wants to work on that with me, just go ahead and email me at screwbiggov@protonmail.com, screwbiggov@protonmail.com. And I'd like to write a We Are the World type song that's probably titled Let's Get Together, because I think it's time that all races, creeds, and yes, even political backgrounds step up and say, okay, we need to take care of business right now. I mean, this corruption has to go aside. They need us divided, so let's unite.
That's exactly right. Divided is how they have power over us, and they keep holding it over our heads. So
I feel like a Robert Imbriali moment. What do you think? Should I do a Robert Imbriali
Oh,
live here
yes,
on the air?
absolutely.
Oh
Absolutely.
wow, this is
Oh, yeah, yeah. Come on,
amazing.
guys. Come on. Woohoo. This is how you don't
Oh,
look
this
like
is
you're
so
born in
fun.
1776, by the way.
I was born in 1776, so you caught me. So that is Neumi Skin, which is a wonderful, wonderful product. And to be honest, I'm a very authentic, so I'll just tell you. Oftentimes, if I'm feeling a little bit tired or stressed or whatever, I actually spray it because it's soothing also on my face, and it gets me up and motivated to keep working for we the people. So Numi Skin is a phenomenal product. The before and afters will just blow you absolutely away. We hear a lot of women are getting rid of their skincare and makeup, and it's saving a ton of money for them. So check out Numi Skin. My favorite product of all times is this though. This is NutraSwish. What this guys is, this is a glutathione product, but it's the only company that figured out how to use hydrostat to make the glutathione molecule small enough so it gets into your system subliminally when you swish it, and therefore you get massive results. Your body goes to work and says, here's where we need to repair it, here's where we need to do better. And it's just epic, phenomenal. And for the women, I don't know where that bottle went, but anyways, it's called Hers, and the women are loving that. It's a botanical also that you swish, and I hear hot flashes are gone immediately from some people. Their cycle seems a lot milder. Their moods are elevated, and guys, their libido goes up. Woo! So, anyways, that's Numi. Just go to the link lherms.numi.com and get yours today. The link will also be below for whoever you're watching because we're simulcast all over the place. Click on that link below. All right. Well, that was fun. So let's show something that's not so fun.
Oh, yeah.
So that's in the United States, guys. You have a pipeline that exploded. They don't know how yet. They're trying to figure it out. But isn't it interesting that we have all these pipelines that are exploding around the world? They all happen to be connected where? To the United States. So when they had issues with the Canada pipeline, United States, this pipeline, United States, the underwater pipeline was benefiting the United States. Isn't it interesting that all these pipelines are going up? Isn't it interesting that these farms are burning down again right now, right? What better way to take control of people is if you have another excuse to screw up the environment. You have another excuse to raise gas prices through the roof. You have another excuse to raise food prices through the roof and just start cutting the supply. What better way to take control of the population because they start to panic, and then they create the problem, they give them the solution. So
Right.
I'd pay attention to these things. It's very scary. Seems like nothing, but they seem to build up on each other. And clearly, in my opinion, I don't even need my tin foil hat for this. This is absolutely conspiratorial in my realm.
Walk through the grocery store and think back to 2019 of the variety of products that the grocery stores used to carry versus now. You're going to see a lot of brands are missing. A lot of things, some of our favorites too, gone. Where's the company? You go look at their website. Website's down. The company's out of business, right? Over and over again. So as they throttle the food supply, guys, we're trapped if that happens. So now we're not growing our own food. In fact, some states have outlawed your ability to grow a garden in your backyard. Believe it or not, they're going that far. The EPA says you can't capture rainwater. We're going to have a major storm here coming in on Friday. What do you mean we can't capture all this rainwater? It's just going to the ocean, making a mess on its way. Why can't we capture it? It's against the law to do that. The EPA says no. So all of those things would help you self-sustain, right? In Israel, for instance, they allow them to collect all the rainwater. So during the rainy season, there's reservoirs and there's residents capturing all the water so that in the summer, they don't experience the pain of a drought. They could have a drought, but there's plenty of water. They never have a challenge with it. As opposed to here in California where droughts go on 7-8 months every year.
So it's interesting you say that. So I'm going to give you guys a little anecdote that will prove that they're just trying to cause confusion,
Hmm.
make you feel disruptive so you don't resonate at the highest frequency you can. How's that? Robert just said the EPA is making it illegal, which is a federal agency, to capture rainwater. In many counties across the United States, it is a law that when you do new construction, you must put up barrels to capture rainwater. See what they're doing? So it's do this, don't do this, do this, don't do this, don't do this. So everybody's confused. They don't know what to do. And now doesn't if you don't capture rainwater, you're going to get in trouble. And if you do capture rainwater, you're going to get in trouble. They set it up to make a lot of money, fine you, set it up so they I'm sure there'll be felonies and now they can arrest people, hold it over. So whatever they want to do, now they got you. And these are the major counties. All the liberal counties are doing this. All of them.
Yep.
So think about that. You capture it, you get in trouble. You don't capture it, you get in trouble. What the heck is going on here?
One of our
Crazy.
houses here in California, Lewis, where we had, it was about 5 years, 6 years ago, we had a house here, and it was only an acre, and it was $1,000 a month for water. We were on city water.
Wow.
It's like, well, what? Well, no wonder they don't want you to capture the rainwater. That's good money for them.
Wow. Amazing.
I know.
Just
Yeah.
amazing. So we had a couple of questions and comments on Neumi today, which is great. One was, does it help for breathing and the heart? Absolutely, 100%, 100%. Your mitochondria will send the signals and help your heart. But interesting enough, the reason why I first tried Neumi was last October is because of my breathing issues that I was having. And it did that. That's what sold me. It's amazing. For years, I've had this issue and it was gone after that. And I also have had a poisoning since, and it helped me through that also. So yeah, phenomenal for that. And then somebody else said they've been using Neumi for 6 months, just got blood work down, and they said everything was actually really good. So congratulations, happy to hear that. We only want to recommend something that has real efficacy, guys. So if you hear it from us, it's probably pretty damn good because Robert and I are scrutinized a lot. You wouldn't believe what comes across our desk almost weekly.
Got two more today, actually. Two more product recommendations that people would love to have us promote. So,
No, well, we'll look at them, but it doesn't work out great for them usually.
yeah, normally anything less than 3 months of us vetting and testing and trying it on ourselves and that kind of thing. And it's amazing to me. There's so many prostate supplements out there. How many of them do absolutely nothing, absolute zeros? And you look at the marketing for these things, and it's like, so we get hit with it all the time. We get hit with all the marketing and all the marketing. It's like, I don't want to see the marketing. I want to see the research. If it's a healthcare product, right? It's a supplement or something. I want to know what the research is. And with the Neumi, you can go to PubMed and you can look up all the studies on glutathione, and you could find out all the benefits that it has and why it's so important for your body. And not hyperbole. This Neumi has done. Glutathione's not new. What's new is how they've made it accessible to your body, how it gets in and it bypasses the digestive tract. You're putting it in your mouth. It's going sublingual. It's going under your tongue, right into the bloodstream, gets to work. Take the supplements, they go into the digestive system. So
Amazing.
yeah.
So here's some fun little video. It's another video.
I don't know if we need that guy on the end there, but okay.
I love that guy. Actually, my wife, I joke around about that guy. Every time my wife and I talk and meet somebody and they seem a little bit wacky, with their political views, I always say emotional damage. So it's kind of an inside joke.
It's an inside meme. I got it.
My wife's watching right now. She's like, I can't believe you did that. But yes, I did.
Hey, it's our show. We can do what we want, right?
So, Robert, as we predicted, and it's been going on, but it's interesting right now. The mainstream media is in attack mode on what I call conspiracy facties. They call them theorists. They're not. They're facties. Let's rename them conspiracy facties. So they are full on. And why would they need to be talking about conspiracy theorists right now of all times. Why would there's nothing new that's being released. Really, there's not much discovery over the last 2 years, right? But they're revisiting these stories from years and years ago because they're all coming true. So they're trying to ward you off of them. So I want to read this article from the lovely AP News, right? Deep State. And it's at first this story seemed harmless, they said. Tells about secret organizations plotting to take over the world, about the good guys working to save it, and about the proof that if you knew where to look was hiding in plain sight. So this article is about one person, primarily. Her name's Ramona. Her boyfriend Don's, and her tales of conspiracy theories. It sounded like a movie. So a lot of it didn't make much sense to them when they wrote this, right? But Ramona didn't make sense to her either, and because she's reformed, by the way, she's not a conspiracy theorist anymore. I just nodded along, is what she said. Don enjoyed telling his stories and showing off what he'd read online. He always knew the answer. And the conspiracy theories it spawned would change Ramona's life forever, sending her down a dark path of paranoia and isolation, consumed by visions of an apocalyptic battle between good and evil. Huh. Is that not what's going on? Am I really missing something? If this is not the battle of good and evil exposed right now, it's biblical. I don't know what is. And for somebody even to deny it, maybe they have an agenda. Oh, so they do, because it said she was convinced by her boyfriend that a new world order would begin at any time. Now, isn't that interesting? Because we just showed you clips from Davos and how many times these global elites are calling it themselves a new world order. So again, a conspiracy fact that they're trying to deny, even though the globalists now are saying it's a new world order. They've embraced the term themselves publicly. Wow, a bunch of psychos these people are. Anyways, Ramona fell into a trap that has ensnared millions of Americans and even at times hijacked national politics. Oh, because Trump talks about all this stuff, right? Says to Don, the conspiracy theories filled in some of the blanks. Think about this. This is years ago, by the way, but they're talking about it as if it's now. She says, I have a lot of fear about what I can't control. Ramona, now 23, a whole 23-year-old. So look that's not even our target audience. The reality is most people watching are somewhere between 45 and 70 years old. Most of the people that actually have dug in and found out the truth are in the same range. Now, there are some young people doing it, but of course they targeted her because she got flipped. She's now a conspiracy. Would she go through a 12-step program, I think, to get better? I don't know. So there's a lot of fear about what I can't control. Ramona agreed to tell her story to the Associated Press after she detailed her experiences on a forum for recovering conspiracy theorists. Oh, bless their heart, as Odyssey would say. The stuff he was telling me, it made me feel like at least we understood. He had an explanation for what was going on. I didn't realize what I was getting into. Dun, dun, dun. So then they go on to say, Robert, you can interrupt me anytime because this is a lot of fun. And then they go on to say, this alternate reality nourished by these conspiracy theories would transform Ramona's life, sending her down a dark path of paranoia and loneliness that upended her life and spun her dreams of the future into turmoil. This person's a great writer. I'm sure he probably wrote one of the Harry Potter movies. Convinced that a, quote, new world order was already underway, she fell into a trap that has ensnared millions of Americans and even at times hijacked the nation's politics. They repeated themselves. But here's where it gets fun. They start next, isolated from friends and family. Now let's pause. It's the non-believers, the ones that refuse to dig in, the ones that are brainwashed, that are isolating these so-called conspiracy theorists. That's what's really going on. So they're trying to spin it as if she's isolating her. No, no, no. I don't know of any conspiracy theorist that said, I don't want to talk to you anymore because you don't believe what I'm talking about. But there's millions of people out there that says, I will disassociate from my family because you're talking about conspiracies. So I want you guys to pay attention to the way the media spins these things. So when you talk to people, you can explain to them this is the way media spins this thing. So it says, continue distrustful of the explanations offered by officials and the media. Ramona and Don began to prepare. The military might try to put Americans like them in concentration camps run by the Federal Emergency Management Agency or FEMA. Interesting. They had to be ready to flee. Now, this is how they titled the next section, which I find interesting. What to know. Conspiracy theories, which have a long history in the US, are influencing our politics, our culture, and even our healthcare. There are psychological reasons why anyone could believe in these theories and ways people can escape. Yeah, let's take out the psychological reasons. The Gulf of Tonkin was called a conspiracy theory. Now we know it's fact. The Tuskegee experiment was called a conspiracy theory. Now we know it's a fact. FDR knowing about Pearl Harbor 2 weeks before was called a conspiracy theory. Now we know it's fact. 9/11 is absolutely a false flag. We know that it's now to be fact. Hawaii was false flag and definitely something operational there going on. And still, these are all facts. Not conjecture. These aren't theories. These are conspiracy facts. This is all about spin. I just want everybody to pay attention because this is what the media is doing. They have to spin it. So they're being proactive because they're all about ready to be held accountable. The proverbial crap that's hitting the fan for them, they don't know how to cover, so they're trying to preemptive strike. That's what they're doing. So it said the couple began stockpiling food and supplies. Oh no, how bad is that you stockpile food and supplies? Geez, seems like common sense to me, regardless of you're a conspiracy theorist or not. Don started a go bag. What? Oh my God, how horrible is he? He has a go bag containing survival gear. He used their modest savings. There you go, right? So the conspiracy theorists are making him spend money because he bought a right mission. Oh yeah, don't protect your family because you're spending your modest savings. Down the rabbit hole we go. The AP spoke with more than a dozen people whose lives were disrupted by conspiracy theories, either because they believed them or because a close loved one did. Many spoke of social isolation. Well, we got into that. They're being isolated by their families because their families do not want to have anything to do with the truth. So it goes on and on and on. So Antonio Perez is somebody else that they interviewed, and he says, I was suicidal. But listen to this. They told on themselves. He goes, I was suicidal before I got into conspiracy theories. Now I'm not. Okay, well, there you go, guys. If you're suicidal, just make sure you get into conspiracy theories. It's like, my God, I finally found my people, he said. So anyways, they go on and on and on and on. Just so you know, it also says similar online communities have sprouted for the family members and loved ones left behind. So that this is probably like what's the support of the people that are in AA. Anyways, so it says family members and loved ones behind when someone is consumed by conspiracy theories such as, and here's how they finish it off. What word do you think they used? The end word, which is where they were getting at all the time. QAnon. Oh, my Lord in heaven. Did they say that word? They did. Folks, it's very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I thought we would bring that to you for fun today. Robert, any take on this craziness?
Yeah, I have a quote that I've been sharing with people for the past couple of years, and I say there's no downside to being prepared. You know, I mean, full infrastructure, highways collapsed. I mean, it was pretty devastating.
Right.
So that could happen at any moment. So kind of silly to think, oh, it's just about the uprising. Well, maybe there is going to be one. Maybe we have 15 million people who shouldn't be here, who came in all military age, fighting men. When they turn off the spigot and there's no more money, what do you think's going to happen? It's common sense at this point. Forget about the conspiracy.
Yep.
And I love the QAnon reference because there is no such thing. It's like
Nope.
clearly they don't know what they're talking about.
They know. Nope. It's a talking point.
Yeah.
Just a talking point.
Yeah.
So, like Denise says, we are winning. Hey, fun fact, Robert. He lost a water heater, and everybody around him lost all their walls. Probably because he was at the epicenter. Is the only thing I could think of, right? Because it builds when it goes out a little bit.
Oh, wow.
Craziness. I seem to be at the weirdest places for sure, but that's true story. It, I believe it was Elkwood or Elk Grove or something like that street. Craziness, crazy,
Wow.
crazy, crazy.
Well, you
All
like to be at the
righty.
center of it all. That would be where to be, right? At that moment.
Yeah, actually, it's less damage to his house than everybody else's
That's
house. And
amazing. Yeah.
I never researched this. Just my speculation is it's because where it was located, and so
And
it
his water
probably
heater
it,
was tacked to the wall
it.
because it was required here in California.
No, it wasn't at the time.
It wasn't. Okay.
Nope,
That's why it
wasn't
fell
at the
over.
time. I can tell you within days that's what we were doing though. Putting it we were tagged, put a
The
new
water
one up
heater
and
straps on. Got to put them on. Yep.
tacked it to the wall,
Yep.
right? And so this is an interesting story. Many people may not have heard about this, and we're going to take it in a different direction. There is a gentleman named Jack Vidgen. And why does it matter? I'm going to ask you, why does it matter? And we're going to teach you why this matters, because this is a societal thing. And he's in my opinion, a great example of what's going on. So let's
14, huh?
go. 14 years old
Wow.
that time. That was in 2011.
Hmm.
So why is this important? Well, in a recent Instagram Q&A with fans, he said the music industry has traumatized me. I'm kind of traumatized by the industry and really lost my love for all of it again. Vidgen has become more famous in recent years. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. With that voice, he's become more famous in recent years for his super glam appearance at social events. Let's put up the first picture. Now, you can see that's the transition. So this is what the guy dresses up like now. Directions. We're going to expose Taylor Swift next week, probably a week from today. And you're going to see the similar transition through her life, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So he said growing up in the public spotlight wasn't easy for him. His AGT win secured him a recording contract with Sony. Congratulations. Now, we know what happens when these large recording companies and entertainment companies get their hooks into somebody. I'm guessing, this is my opinion, this is speculation, that he had some outside influences for him to start acting in a certain way. And many times they come from these producers by proxy and they're handlers for these kids. And it's disgusting. So he says he released in August of 2011 an album, but he's only made 2 albums since in 12 years. He said, I stopped singing 5 years ago. He told Who Magazine, I think I just burnt out. That was in 2019 that he said that. So he stopped in 2014. 2011, 3 years later, he stopped. He just couldn't handle it anymore. He just said, I fell out of love with singing. Of course, because he's got all this propaganda that he has to live up to and change himself. It says now 26, Vidgen says he was keen to start mentoring other young singers and perhaps move into voice coaching. Nothing on him, but do you really want a kid that's head is in the clouds and hasn't figured things out yet? And he's distraught, borderline suicidal, and definitely a drug addict, which he's mentioned. Is that who you want mentoring your kids? But he's now posed as a mentor. He said he's been open in the past about his mental health struggles. So he says, I have mental health struggles. I abuse alcohol and drugs. because alcohol's my lead way into drugs. But I'm going to mentor your kids right now. Is that who you want mentoring your kids? Think about this. But guess what? The Marxist society will grab him and say, "Oh, my dear, oh, you're so amazing. Please mentor our children." Right? It's disgusting when they should embracing him and say, "Hey, take some you time, figure yourself out, right? Get off of the alcohol, get off the drugs. Let's help you through that. Let's not worrying about helping other kids right now."
Right.
It's crazy. So in July 2022, he revealed he'd gone through a battle with drug addiction.
Wow.
This is just 2 years ago. He says, "Of course, I think that's definitely stemming from trauma." Where did the trauma come from? That's where my question is. Where did that trauma come from? Now, here's what he says, which frustrates me. He says, "I want to live authentically." Is he truly living authentically right now? Or is he being told what authenticity looks like? Because authenticity, you don't need to be told what it's looked like. You either feel it or you don't feel it. He said, "I'm just finding at the moment being sober from alcohol and everything else is what needs to happen right now, at least." That's good. By the way, it's only been 6 months. Now, look at his next picture. Interesting. I'm going to show you something different. He says, over the years, Vidkin has also been candid about changing his looks. Pull this next picture up, Robert. That's nothing compared to the next picture. Now let's look at the last picture. And he's admitted to various cosmetic procedures, including, this is a young kid guy, a boy, including fillers and teeth whitening. He says, quote, "I've had heaps of fillers," he previously revealed. "I didn't have any lips. I used to try all sorts of things. Now I use fillers in the cheeks, fillers in the jaw, fillers in the nose, everything." This is a young, beautiful man, 26 years old, and he feels the need to do this. Guys, this is a mental health issue. This is what the industry does. This is what the cabal does. They need to change these people. This is what they're doing inside of your schools where your children are, right? This is where they're going. So his last quote here, he says, "I've just needed some distance from socials to realign with my values and who I am as a person," which I think is good. Hopefully he gets his act together. I feel for him. This is the way the cabal treats their people and our young. We must be engaged with our young. We must be engaged with them to prevent this type of thing from happening. Very, very sad. And next week, we're going to have Taylor Swift, and I call it, listen to this, Taylor Swift feature next week, from good values example conservative to spellcaster, possibly Anton LaVey's great-granddaughter. Go into that. All right, now let's talk about another mental health issue. In New Hampshire, now, guess what? Isn't it wonderful that they're now opening these centers up where adults can act like babies? They've got cribs and diapers for them and bottles and binkies. It's so awesome. And they've done it in Chicago and several other cities across the United States. Let's look at this lovely gentleman. So, Robert, there's I used to watch Dr. Demento. Some people here will know exactly what I'm talking about. And there used to be a little skit in there, and they've said, "I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy," right? In this case, I think I'd rather have a frontal lobotomy than have that bottle in front of me. It is so sad. Now, if you don't understand, guys, this is a degradation of society, and this is intentional. This is all part of the color revolution. Go back and study color revolution, study the way Tavistock has to manipulate us to get us to a certain point. This breakdown of society is demented, and it's frankly satanic. Not to offend anybody, but that's what it is. We just have to call it for what it is. what you say, Robert
But we're
Imbriali.
supporting it. This is the thing: is like there's these centers opening up all over the place, and you know it's being supported. And some respects, you look at the LBGT world, it's being celebrated, right? And this is not the way we were built. This is not what we were built for. We're babies. We grow up. We grow out of that. We learn and we get more mature, more mature. Not all of us get to full maturity emotionally. I get that, but you know, at least we're kind of moving in that direction. I hear you have a full-grown man acting like an infant. This is not right. There's something clearly
Yeah.
wrong here, and it's not something to be celebrated. This is something where you know instead of celebrating it and encouraging it, you know maybe an intervention might be a good idea. You know, find out what the heck's really going on here. Why
Yeah,
why isn't he willing to face the world as a grown up and mature adult?
mhm.
You know?
It's clearly a mental health
Oh, it
issue.
is. Yeah.
We just have to see it for what it is,
Right.
right? Um, and we just don't see it for what it is. And this is why we're trying to help people do that. Interesting enough, I don't know if anybody picked up in the video, he actually was missing a lot of teeth.
Yeah.
He had like one or two teeth in front. Is that from sucking on the binky, or is he just more like a baby? Just really, really, really weird stuff.
Yeah, it's not something
Uh,
to celebrate. And, you know, we get beat up if we don't celebrate it, which is really fascinating in this society. It's like, no, I would really genuinely like to go to meet this guy and help him rather than support him and encourage him to be
exactly.
something like this, which is not a productive member of society. You can't tell me that there's a lot of happiness in that. There can't be,
No,
you
there's
know?
not.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad.
Yeah.
But we'll move on. Guys, tomorrow's show will be huge. So it's primarily going to be on the border convoy, and we're going to have the wonderful Mark Anthony with us tomorrow. He's the main guy that helped coordinate this border convoy. I've reached out already to Michael Jacob. Looks like I just got a confirmation from him, by the way. Let's find out.
Oh, real
Hold on.
time update, huh?
In real time live. Let's see.
No, you got to show us your screen. You got to make sure that we see that you're actually looking at a
Uh,
text message and not just
I
faking it.
know. I should, right? I
No,
should.
don't do it.
It's
You might see his
here.
phone number or something.
No, it's not on. But anyway, so the answer is yes. So the good news is the answer is yes. So that means Mark Anthony, Michael Jake will be on there, and we are also reaching out to Scotty Sachs, which is an amazing person with phenomenal information. So this can be an epic show, guys. You should be here tomorrow. All of these people have some phenomenal information. So it'll be a nice warrior show tomorrow.
Awesome.
Guys, while you're here, do us a favor, like, follow, and share. Please, please, please. Go to the links below to support us or anybody else that you like. Screwbiggov.com. I have to say it every once in a while just because sometimes we're hurting. We do accept donations also. So if you can click on go to donations, as you know, I rarely, maybe once every 2 or 3 months, even mention that we have that link on the website, but at screwbiggov.com. It's important for me to mention it any while because, you know, it's kind of we've been putting so much money in the travel and getting these stories out to you. It's a little bit slim right now. Not a big deal though. Just go there and pray if you don't want to donate. Now, in addition, I want you to hang on to the end today because Lisa Richards have created an amazing outro for us, and
With a twist.
several songs that we already know that you guys love,
Yeah.
right? So
Mhm.
very, very cool, folks. I want you to remember the nature of humanity is intrinsically good. It is. Whatever you hear, it is. So just make a choice. Be good. We have an inspirational moment for you in the outro. God bless you. We'll be here tomorrow with the show, and then I'm heading to Yuma, Arizona for the convoy.
Outstanding. Thank you, everyone. See you all tomorrow. Watch these videos. They're good.